Hello and welcome. Today, I'd like to start a new series where we explore the traditional instruments of Japanese Gagaku music. And the first instrument is the sho, truly unique and mysterious one. Before we get into the technical details, I'd like to start with something personal. We often talk about possibility in life, children's potential, creative freedom, and having more options. For a long time, I believed that having more choices meant having more possibilities. But this instrument, the sho, made me reconsider that idea. I'll talk more about that toward the end of today's episode, so if you are interested, I hope you'll stay with me to the end. Let's talk at the shape first. Imagine 17 slender bamboo pipes standing vertically in a round wooden base. It's a very distinctive form. The shape is set to imitate a phoenix resting its wings, and that's why the character used for this instrument is Housho, which means phoenix. The sound you are hearing in the background right now, that's the voice of the sho. It produced soft, glowing clusters of tones called aitake, which are essentially chords, not melodies. Inside each bamboo pipe is a tiny metal lead. There is also a small hole on each pipe, and when you cover that hole with your finger, it allows air to vibrate the lead and produce sound. It might sound complicated. If you want to see images, I'll put some links or references in the comments. And one special thing about the sho, you have to warm it up before you can play it. Otherwise, the reeds get moisture on them and stop vibrating. It's a delicate living instrument. Structure and sound. Out of the 70 pipes, only 15 actually produce sound. The remaining 2 don't have reeds. They are there intentionally to be silent. That fact really stayed with me. Also, the pitches are not arranged like a Western scale, not do, re, mi. The layout is unique and built around harmonies rather than melodies. In traditional Gagaku, instruments like the hichiriki play the melody while the sho provides harmony. It creates a kind of shimmering light that surrounds the whole ensemble. Here's what changed my thinking. We often hear the word possibility. People talk about a child's future or about expanding our own possibilities. And for a long time, I believed possibility meant the more options the better. In many ways, this still holds true. If we look at the history of Western instruments, for example, we moved from the harpsichord to the piano. The harpsichord had fewer keys, no dynamic control. No matter how hard you pressed, the sound stayed the same. Then came the piano, more keys, more dynamics, more power, more expressive range. Eventually, synthesizers arrived, allowing us to invent entirely new sounds, even play notes between the notes. That's the history of music in the West. More choices, more control, more sound, a constant expansion of possibilities. So, when I first encountered the sho and learned it has 17 pipes but only 15 of them produce sound, I assumed it was a structural compromise. But then, I was told something surprising. Those 2 silent pipes once produced sound. They were intentionally silenced long ago. That hit me deeply. Why would anyone take something that worked and then removed it? Doesn't that go against the idea of progress? But over time, I began to see something else. Maybe possibility isn't just about having more. Maybe it's also about choosing less and listening more. When I compose for the show, I often think, oh, I want this chord, a beautiful chord like Debussy or Fauré might use. But then I try to play it, and the note simply doesn't exist. The show doesn't allow it. So I have to let go of what I want and follow what the instrument can do. And the result? It doesn't feel limited, it feels guided, even wise. It's as if the instrument is showing me something I wouldn't have found on my own. In this way, I started to feel that the 15 tones of the show weren't a limitation. They were a path, a set of ancient footprints to follow. I began to see possibility not as freedom to do anything, but as freedom to connect with something beyond myself. It reminded me something like the game of shogi, Japanese chess. Just 64 squares on the board, and yet a master like Yoshiharu Habu sees a universe within it. Someone like me looks at that same board and say, isn't this too small? But the truth is, for a master, it's more than enough. Would it be better if the board had more squares? Probably not. More space doesn't always mean more dips. Sometimes I meant losing the very thing we were trying to find. I now believe that the show's silent pipes were not a mistake but a message. They remind us that in order to reach certain worlds, ancient worlds or worlds of deeper resonance, we might have to give something up. Real possibility isn't just about expanding outward. Sometimes it's about narrowing the path so we can walk it more deeply. About time. Let me give you an example. There is a traditional piece called Banshikichou no Choshi. On my upcoming album, I'd arranged it with classical instruments. The version is just over 3 minutes long. But the original version, when played solo on the show, it takes 1 hour and 20 minutes. Yes, just one person playing continuously. In today's world, TikTok, YouTube, everything is faster. Songs start with the hook in 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So the idea of 1 hour 20 minute solo piece might sound absurd. But to me it's beautiful. That's something I love to Gagaku. Some pieces last under a minute. Others are performed non-stop for 6 hours. This huge scale of time, it thrilled to me in a way. Closing. Alright, I could go on forever but I'll stop here. This was the first episode of our Gagaku instrument series and today we explored the show. If you have any thoughts, whether you are new to music or deeply experienced, please feel free to leave a comment. I try to make this podcast open to people from all backgrounds. And I've been very lucky to have some incredibly knowledgeable listeners already. If you see someone asking a question, maybe you can help answer and together we can create a space for learning and sharing. Thanks again for listening. Next time, we'll look at another unique instrument from the world of Gagaku. See you soon.